What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. So, Charles Barkley, Sir Charles Barkley, Chuck the Chuckster, he was on Dan Patrick's show. Y'all know Dan Patrick, esteemed journalist and sports broadcaster. Dan Patrick talks to Charles Barkley about the back and forth between LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith. And so, Charles Barkley, he says, one, he felt like these two individuals are good people, but nobody wins in this situation. He feels like, the whole thing was really uncalled for. He said LeBron started it, with the commotion at the game. And he LeBron knows what he's doing. He's a control freak, so on and so forth and all of that. Then he says Stephen A. Smith, he was weak and lame. He thought the response from him was weak and lame and so on and so forth and all of that. But then he said something very interesting, right? Something that just kind of went off in my mind, right? And he says, Charles Barkley says, and him and Charles and LeBron have had a back and forth previously. They got past it, got over it, and they're good now. For the most part, they're in a good space. But he says, Charles said, I've always liked LeBron, but him being a bully, it turned me off. And I don't know if he's talking about this situation right here where he's deeming LeBron a bully, or if he's saying in general LeBron can be a bully, so on and so forth. But regardless of what context he's saying LeBron James is a bully, he said, I've always liked LeBron, but him being a bully turned me off. And I had a thought to myself, and I said, well, damn, Chuck. You were friends, close friends with one of the biggest bullies to ever grace professional sports, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. And when I say this, I know some old heads going to be like, you soft. Man, bro, I grew up in South Side Chicago, going to the corner store with GDs, BDs, Vice Lords at the corner. Going to the basketball court where the Blackstones at the corner, molding them at the corner, at the basketball court. And if you win a game against them, it might be consequences and repercussions, right? So miss me with all that soft-ass shit. I come from an area where a lot of people, regardless of generation, would have been scared to come outside. And I came outside as my mama's only son, okay? But anyway, let me just get back to the main point. Michael Jordan was a bully. Is he the greatest basketball player ever? I got Michael Jordan number 1. I got LeBron James number 2, right? But I got him as the GOAT. Yes. But it doesn't change the fact that Michael Jordan treated people terribly over his lifetime. Let's be honest. Again, and that was Chuck main mans. That was his homie until Chuck became a recipient of that Michael Jordan bravado, arrogance, so on and so forth. And that me type of thing that Michael Jordan got going on. Michael Jordan has punched out little ass Steve Kerr, right? Punched out Steve Kerr when he knew he would never punch Bill Cartwright. He would never in his life punch Charles Oakley. Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, old running mate, has had a Hall of Fame speech. And he invited the dude that beat him out on a varsity team when he was like a sophomore just to pull his card in public and tell him, I turned out better than you. You wasn't nothing compared to me. Right? I'm paraphrasing, but Michael Jordan really brought him there to tell him you ain't shit compared to me. Mike spent his whole Hall of Fame speech talking about how much better he was than everybody else. Right? Instead of really just celebrating his career. Anyway, then the same Michael Jordan who was kicking basketballs in the stands, telling Kwame Brown to fetch the fucking basketball after practices and after games, telling him go fetch that basketball. For real, the 18-year-old Kwame Brown, he was hoeing Kwame and addressing Kwame as ho whenever he's seen him. What's up, ho? And that's word from Gilbert Arenas. And the stories about Michael Jordan kicking the basketballs into the stands, that's from Eton Thomas, a really stand-up individual, right? Stand-up black man, honorable black man, told that story about Michael Jordan doing that to him, right? So Chuck, seeing somebody a bully, I'm like, I don't know how turned off you are by bullies, because, again, you were hanging with Michael Jordan, the same individual who told Chameleonaire, after Chameleonaire spent $7,000 on Michael Jordan jerseys at an auction. When he asked Michael Jordan for a picture, Michael Jordan responded with, I don't take no pictures with no N-words. I don't take no pictures with no N-words. First he said, what? Man, hell no. Hell no. I don't take no pictures with no N-words. I don't take no pictures with no N-words. Then he told him, I tell you what, if you pay $15,000 for a jersey from me specifically, then I'll take a picture with you. I'm like, damn, that Michael Jordan. The same Michael Jordan who is shitting on Jerry Krause, a deceased man, over and over again throughout the documentary, all throughout the damn Last Dance documentary. Right? Let's be for real, man. Like if we gonna talk about it, we gotta talk about it. The same Michael Jordan who also told Horace Grant, he told the stewardess on the team plane that Horace Grant did not play well enough to eat, and told the stewardess Horace Grant don't deserve no food, and made the stewardess not give Horace Grant no food. That same Michael Jordan? Come on, Chuck. That was your homie. You got a thing for bullies, man. That's your dog. That's your shit for real, man. Maybe in old age, maybe you changed, especially after you saw Michael Jordan turn against you when you talked about, hey, man, I don't think Michael Jordan got the right people around him running his team. I don't think Mike really doing that great of a job running this Charlotte Hornets team. This team is not very good. And Michael Jordan ain't spoken to you in 15 years, probably. I think like 15 years. He hasn't spoken to you. Right? So maybe he changed now and thought, man, I don't like bullies. I don't know. But then again, I'm thinking, Chuck, you also called Kendrick Perkins an idiot on television a few weeks ago because Kendrick Perkins, while on ESPN, said that the Lakers saved the NBA, and he didn't say like this season. What he meant by that is that Luka Doncic trade for Anthony Davis made the NBA so interesting and so intriguing. It was across all sports platforms, all networks, all TV shows. Everybody was discussing it. It made the NBA the talk of the town, and that was true. He's not saying the Lakers just like they the best. You know, they're the best team in the NBA. He didn't say the Lakers are the end-all, be-all of the NBA. What he said was that they saved the NBA this season because that storyline shook up everything and made the world stop because it was so unbelievable that Luka Doncic, a generational player who's not even in his prime yet, would get traded for Anthony Davis, a guy who is currently in his prime, but is injury-laden. You know what I mean? So it was a shocking move, and the world really stopped the night that trade went down. That was the night I was getting ready to watch the dang on fight. Or I had just finished watching a fight. Was I getting ready to watch a fight? Or just finished watching? I think I just had finished watching a fight. And that was I didn't even talk about the fight because that trade was just so monumental. But when Kendrick Perkins said that, Charles Barkley called him an idiot and all of that, you know what I'm saying? And Charles has had his own transgressions over the years of doing stuff that's kind of wild, you know? But again, he hung with the biggest bully around, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, right? The same Michael Jordan, matter of fact, the same Michael Jordan. Do y'all remember when Michael Jordan in like 05, 06, he went on the Oprah Winfrey Show, right? His ex-wife, Juanita Vanoy, sitting in the crowd, and, you know, Mike is smiling, skinning and grinning, and he talking to Oprah. And Charles Barkley gets on. One, he brings up the fact that Michael Jordan stopped him from giving money to a homeless person one time and said that if he can make a sign and ask for money, he can say, hi, welcome to McDonald's, right? I said, wow. And Mike was embarrassed that Charles Barkley brought that up. He didn't like that shit. You feel me? But anyway, in this same interview where Charles Barkley is on Oprah, or that Michael Jordan is on Oprah Winfrey, you know, they bring Charles Barkley out from the back. They want Michael Jordan's good friend to come out and talk about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is rubbing on Charles's stomach to fat shame him. He's grabbing Charles Barkley's man boob, trying to show he got a man boob, a man breast to the crowd and shit like that. You feel me? That type of stuff. Mike out here trying to hold Chuck in public and talked about how Chuck don't know shit about winning nothing. Not a damn thing, right? So Mike, in short, Mike should have got his ass whooped a long motherfucking time ago. He just did stuff to the right people. You know? I guarantee you, do that shit to somebody from South Side, West Side Chicago. Hell, even certain projects on the North Side, he's getting his ass chin checked. I'm telling you that right now. You feel me? But I'm like, Chuck, you got a thing for bullies. That's your shit. You like hanging around dudes like that. You like being around guys with that bravado. Because you was kind of up that ilk for a little minute, man. You feel me? You kind of was a little bit in that ilk a little bit, but you wasn't nowhere near as bad as Michael Jordan. I got to say that. Chuck wasn't nowhere near as bad as Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was something else. You feel me? And it's evident with the stories that I'm telling y'all about. Rubbing on Charles' stomach, all in front of the crowd so you can show Charles, basically trying to tell the world, look at Charles' fat self. Look at his fat self, fat ass. That's what he really want to say. Look at Charles' fat ass. That's what he really want to say. Grabbing his man boob and all that type of shit. Look at him, all of that. And then Mike in his older age out here looking like a goddamn panther. He looks like Bagheera from the Jungle Book. Right, Mike Black with them yellow eyes, looking like he about to transform into a gargoyle or transform into a dragon. He looks like he's from House Slytherin. He's from Slytherin or House Targaryen, matter of fact. Better yet, House Targaryen. Mike looked like he about to say Dracarys at any moment. Because again, them yellow eyes look like he about to transform. All right, y'all, I'm talking shit. But y'all get what the gist of this conversation is. I'm like, Chuck, you got a thing for bullies. That is your thing, brother. You feel me? But anyway, man, Machiavelli Mills TV, I'm out here, y'all. Peace.